Hello, my name is Jamie. I'm the group leader for the Sunderland Young Writers. I'm also a theatre maker, director and dramaturg. Now, dramaturg is just a fancy German word for someone who works together with a writer to make sure that the story being told is as clear and as effective as it possibly can be. And we do that through channeling our inner toddler and asking why? A lot. So, why did the character make that decision? Why did you tell us that part of the story before that part of the story? Why have you chosen that form or that style? Sounds a bit annoying, but I promise you it's really useful. As writers, something that we do, and understandably that we do, is we get really involved in our process, in the world that we're creating, in the characters. We know every little detail about them. So a dramaturg's job is to be a fresh set of eyes, to be the audience before the audience actually read the work. They're there to be like, that bit doesn't quite make sense because I don't know this bit of information yet. Do I need to know that bit of information? That means I spend a lot of time thinking about structure, plot, and character, and how those three all work together and they all actually feed into each other. Maybe sometimes you have the challenge of you know exactly what the events of the story are going to be, but not who it's about yet. Or the other way around, you've got a really rich character who you know every little detail of, but you don't know what's going to happen to them yet. The exercises that I'm going to take you through today hopefully will show you how those two feed into each other, how they can be used to make each other better and actually give you ideas. So, the way I often think about this for when I'm working with people to help them is you have to think of your book, your story or whatever as a car. So the physical frame is whatever form it takes. So that could be a play, a book, a novel, short stories, a poem, a song. That's the physical shape of it, the actual like metal frame of the car. And characters drive the story. And by that I don't mean they're passengers. The passengers in the car are your ideas, your what you want the story to mean or the audience or the reader to take from it. No, the characters are your ignition, the steering wheel, the engine. Without them, the story doesn't move. So these are really simple exercises to flesh out their world, to flesh out their motivations and all those things that make us interested in people or interstellar space aliens or elves. Anyone you're writing about, at their core, they have to be a person. We have to be able to relate to them and understand what they do, even if they're not good people, even if they're anti-heroes. Because people are complex, and that's actually what makes them interesting. Cool. So the first thing you need is a character. Maybe you've got a pre-existing one already from something you're working on, or you want to take a few minutes now to think of one. If you're really stuck for a character, my suggestion is use yourself for the following exercises. Characters are just fully fleshed out people, 3D human beings, and luckily for you, you are one of those. So you have all the knowledge and insight that you need. And it's a really useful tool to remember, like, that's what you're trying to create here, is a person with memories and emotions and all those little things that make us human. So being able to see the detail that you can find for yourself and then applying that when you start to create characters is super useful. Now you've got your person in mind, the first thing I want you to do is list 20 things that are public information about that character. So a good way to think about this is if you went onto their Instagram feed and let's, for this exercise, imagine that an extraterrestrial alien, elf, tree person, fox that can talk, all have Instagram. What can you learn just by scrolling through their feed? Is there a cafe that they're always in? Is there a person they're always hanging out with? What do we know about their interests just from what we can see on public forums? So that's 20 things that are public knowledge about your character. And you have to get 20. Don't stop at 15. Keep going until you get 20. That might take you 2 minutes. It might take you 2 hours. Just put me on pause. It's fine. I'll be here when you get back. Cool. So now you've got those things, I want you to write 15 things that the character knows and only the character knows. So that's 15 secrets. Now, let's write 10 things that other characters know about your character, but they don't know. Scandal. So that can be things like maybe they're heir to a vast fortune, but only one person knows that. Or they've got a special power that a wise mentor is going to tell them about later in the story, but for now, they have no idea that someone else knows. Okay, now it's time to tap into our all-seeing over. As writers, we know everything that's going to happen. We know the past, the future, the present. So write me 10 things about that character that only you, the writer, know. That only you could possibly have any idea exists for them. So no one else but you, this overseeing, omnipotent being, knows about that character. Cool. So now we've got that fleshed out, we can start to see this character a bit more. Write me 5 things your character is an expert of. Now that can be as literal as they are an expert of physics, or it can be something a bit more emotional, like they're an expert of doubting themselves. They're an expert of baking cupcakes. They're an expert of making their pals and their friends really happy. 5 things that your character is an expert of. Now let's go the other way. Let's do 5 things that that character does not care about, has no interest in, has no knowledge of. 5 things that your character does not care about. Okay, we're getting there. We're starting to see a backstory for this character. We're starting to get a sense of their personality, which is good because that is going to affect the next 3 prompts. So the first one I want you to write is a good memory for that character. Cool. Now we've got the good memory. Let's find the bad memory. For example, my bad memory might be that fire alarm just went off and I really don't want to record this video. But that is now in the background. So a bad memory, something that they hold on to that might affect the way they behave now because it affects their relationship with someone, or they have a fear of something because of that bad memory. A bad memory that your character has. And lastly, for your memories, a mysterious memory. Something that is unsolved from their past, something that keeps them awake at night that they wonder about. What if I had taken that job? What if I hadn't said no? What if I'd chosen to go and live in a city rather than the countryside? I wonder what my friends, my old school friends, thought about me. Or maybe a mysterious figure exists in their life that they never quite understood. Something happened that they still just are not sure what the events were. A mysterious memory that your character has. Cool. So far we've got an intimate knowledge of who our character is from those first few questions. Then we delved a little bit more into their personality and the things that they like and dislike. Then we have fleshed out their backstory. So we created things that happened in the past that they have memories of that affect the way that they approach events in the story, perhaps, or will have set in a chain reaction of things to happen. So now we're going to explore something really important for characters, is why they do what they do. And quite often we do things as human beings because we are searching for something, or we're trying to change, or we want something. So first, we're going to start really small with 15 things that your character wants right now in this moment. The next thing is 15 things that they want today. 15 things that your character can reasonably and rationally achieve today. So maybe they want to go for a run. Maybe they want to find the next step in their quest for whatever magical object they want. We're getting bigger now, and these are significant ones. So 10 things that they want this year. That can be things they want to achieve. It can be things that they want to go away. Things to happen on a global scale, maybe, not even on a small personal scale. Maybe it's something they really want to see a change. Maybe they want to see companies stop using plastic, that kind of thing. 10 things that they want this year. So it has to be achievable in a year. Okay, last one, and it's getting tougher now, but there are less for you to think about, but you should have more of a sense of who this character is now, and maybe the little wants are going to feed into the next one, which is 5 things they want this decade. And lastly, one thing, one big change, one big goal, one big achievement they want in their lifetime. Okay, so now you've got a dense amount of information about your character, about the things that they want and they need to achieve, and the character traits that might stop them from doing that, or other things that are happening that other people are doing that might stop them from getting that thing. So how do we take those character details and turn them into plot? Well, to start really small, go through that list. So this is the end of the workshop, so you can do this through whenever you want. It's for you to come back to now. You've got all the tools, so you can do this in your own time. Take each one of those wants from across all of them and write a short paragraph on each about what happens if they achieve that thing, what does that mean for them, and what happens if they fail at that thing, or something stops them from achieving that thing. How do they react based on the things that we now know from all those other things? This way, you can really start to get an understanding of your character and what pushes them forward. And sometimes it doesn't need to relate to the story or the novel or the play that you're writing. It's just good to exercise those characters and see where they fit into the world and how they behave. But remember, your story is also about what they want and what they need to achieve. So that's a little bit about character growth and plot development. Hopefully that's been useful. Make sure to post them and share them. We love to see your writing here at New Writing North. And hopefully we'll see you soon. Thanks.